Come on, Bill, we've got to keep on moving or we'll die. We've got a mountain we must climb. It isn't very high. Listen, Bill, you still can hear the breakers as they pound. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down. One winter in Alaska, a Sitka boat rode down the morning tide. The boat was named the Falco, and aboard 2 men were safe and warm inside. But winter winds blew up, the cold dark water smoked and rolled. The skipper and the man called Bill watched snow and blowing cold. With darkness creeping in, Kalinin Bay came into sight. They headed up the entrance in the storm to pass the night. They settled in and drank some Goddard gotchas while the skipper told a tale of how Sea Lion Cove would fill with untold sea-tossed treasures in a gale. When Bill cried, "Now's the time to go," the skipper said, "Hold down. We'd have to climb across this mountain or take the skiff the long way round. And both ways have their dangers, Bill, without the blowing snow." But he fell asleep knowing in the morning they would go. The next day in Kalinin Bay, the sky was dark and snow was coming down. The Falco lay at anchor, and they ran the skiff by Salisbury Sound. But again the snow began to blow when they hit Sea Lion Cove. A breaker caught the skiff, and like a matchstick it was stove. More breakers tossed them on the shore. The little skiff was gone. They had to get back to the Falco before the night came on. Come on, Bill, we've got to keep on moving or we'll die. We've got a mountain we must climb. It isn't very high. Listen, Bill, you still can hear the breakers as they pound. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down. Cold and wet and tired, they had to cross the frozen island through the snow. Looking back at Bill, the skipper wondered how much farther he could go. Behind them surf was roaring, while ahead the island rose. The skipper had to keep Bill moving, or by night time they'd be froze. He'd push ahead to break the trail and go back down to help his friend. Then he finally saw the Falco. He turned around and called again. Come on, Bill, we've got to keep on moving or we'll die. We've got a mountain we must climb. It isn't very high. Listen, Bill, you still can hear the breakers as they pound. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down. Come on, Bill, we've got to keep on moving or we'll die. We've got a mountain we must climb. It isn't very high. Listen, Bill, you still can hear the breakers as they pound. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down. We've got to reach Kalinin Bay before the sun goes down.
Everything is so pathetic. I'm going to have to look that up when I get home. Because of my loving friend, I can take her home and these things, you know, about the birds in the beavers.
The lonesome wail of a train whistle is one of those nostalgic sounds that even years later can draw strong images to the mind of those that have heard it. The geography of Southeast hasn't allowed many trains or their whistles in this area, but another evocative sound has been reintroduced to Juneau ears. Through a community effort, Westminster chimes strike once each hour and Carillon bells play twice each day.
In 1962, the National Bank of Alaska donated Shulmerk chimes to Juneau, Ketchikan, and Fairbanks. They played for many years, then faded into the bustle of a growing capital city. Until recently, the bells were in a state of disrepair when a few local residents started a community effort to revive the cheerful sound. The cost to rebuild the Carillon was estimated at $22,500, less than half the price of a new one. City officials authorized a $14,000 grant. Merchants, service clubs, and the local media helped raise the remaining amount.
Yeah.
The bells are now installed in the See Alaska building.
The community support was just unbelievable. So something that for the next 20 to 30 years we're going to be enjoying in Juneau on a daily basis, and I hope everybody likes it.
Made in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, Shulmerk Carillons are considered the Cadillac of electromechanical bells, designed to give the listener the sound of cast tower bells without the expense. Arthur Collins travels all over the world installing both kinds. He spent 4 days working on Juneau's rebuilt system. Collins says listeners will notice little difference between these bells and the real thing.
They won't. They'll think it's Big Ben.
Small Flemish bells are the major instrument. This is the lower of 2 octaves.
These rods are collared and notched to give the same overtones as an actual cast Flemish bell. And these little copper whiskers here are dampers so that the sound won't reverberate longer than it should. The hammer strikes both rods at once, and the sound is picked up here, and it's sent to the amplifier for broadcast outside.
The main melody comes from the bell. The harp and celesta are the accompaniment.
The celesta has a little harsher sound than the harp. The harp is a very mellow sound. And they're both in the same rod. It's where they're struck that makes the difference. One is struck near the end, one is struck right in the center. And that makes the difference in the music. These again are cut, collared, and notched to give the overtones that we want. There is no actual, we're not copying anything here. These are original. This is copying a bell. These are original tone sources.
The Westminster chimes and music are programmed and controlled by this digital clock, but a musician can also sit down at the console and play for the public or just for practice by turning off the outside speakers.
We have a recorder at the console. That sends a pulse up here, tells this thing which key he pushed, and of course there's timing marks on the tape. And when it plays back, when it sees that pulse, it knows which key to play. When you tape music, you lose something. This way, you're getting the actual strike of the bell instead of a tape recording of it.
The speakers are weighted down with 10 cement blocks, and that, according to Collins, will help them withstand even the strongest Taku wind. As for the sound, well, on a clear day like today, we should be able to hear the bells way across town, at least 2.5 miles away from here. Davis has played the Alaska flag song too many times to count, but in all her years as Juneau's First Lady of Theater Organ and as teacher of many local musicians, she's never played a carillon. This was her debut.
Oh, I just love doing it. I would love to just spend hours fooling around on it. I just love the bells anyway. And the town when I first came here was so full of bells. Then for some reason the churches didn't seem to have any anymore. Nobody seemed to have it anymore. And so I was certainly thrilled when they decided to put these back up again.
McKinnon was one of Davis' students. He has played this carillon before and believes it's as good a substitute for real bells as one could find.
On this particular instrument, you have the limitation of 75 bells. It's three two-octave keyboards, and so you have some flexibility in the sound because you have the large Flemish bells, the harp bells, and the celeste or celesta bells, and so it gives you a variety of sound, but you don't have a lot of options, and so you have to arrange or transpose or adjust music that is in existence to make it work on the bells. And so the easiest way to play it is to put the pre-recorded digital tapes on. In the old days, when this equipment was installed, the bells were installed at the National Bank of Alaska some 20 years ago. The method of playing them mechanically was literally by piano roll. This new state-of-the-art, we can sit here and play any arrangement we would like, recorded on what looks like an audio cassette. It's a digital cassette. Put it in the player, and that arrangement will play, 10 times a day, or as often as one would like.
Juneau's old bells are now new, and we will hear them for many years to come.
Alaska, a place of stunning beauty that fires the spirit of every visitor who sees it. Near Juneau, the capital city, 1,000 square mile ice field lures the most adventurous among us. Whether it's a tour on a glacier, a wedding, or a dog sled ride, it's where coastal helicopters will take you on a pathway to adventure.
We'll be landing on the Herbert, and then probably after we take off from the Herbert, we'll fly over the Mendenhall on the way home. Okay? All right, let's go.
Our glacier tour takes you for an up-close and personal look at the blue ice walls of a cascading glacier. You'll land to inspect its features and then fly along its rugged course, an out-of-this-world experience.
Okay, come on up, the water's fine. Be careful of the crevasse, don't walk downhill to one. Yeah, just like an ice cream.
That was really good. Yeah, can't get fresher than that. It's not good. Yeah, it is good.
The spot you're standing on, tomorrow it's going to be over here.
Really?
And this glacier's moving about a foot a day.
Okay, usually we try to do some flying over the glacier to show elements of the glacier that they might not have seen on a particular spot where we landed. We can look down into the crevasses much better as we fly over them. They'll see many blue lakes. They'll see where the snow begins to cover the glacier.
I was a little bit nervous coming up here, but nothing to be afraid of. It's beautiful.
It's been fantastic. It's something we thought we'd never do.
We've been to a lot of places, but it's nothing like this.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You have to do this. It's just, there's no words that could describe the feeling that I have right now.
So you're in Anchorage? Yeah, in the ice caves, it actually appears as though it's, it almost looks like it's neon, because it's floating down, or it's streaming down the sides of the cave walls.
For those wanting more than a walking tour on the glacier, a special guided dog sled ride is now available. A 2-mile ride behind 8 huskies in the wilds of the ice field will be that special Alaskan memory that will never be forgotten.
Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to Dog World.
Thank you.
All right. As far as the tour itself, everyone here is going to be going on a 2-mile dog mush. And the neat thing about our tour here is you're all going to have a chance to drive the dog sled. Don't be nervous. If you guys can stand with your legs shoulder width apart, bend your knees a little bit and go like this, you can drive a dog sled. Definitely gives them a chance to stay in some really good shape, and that's why we like bringing the dogs up here. Gives them a chance to run year round and lets them be in the snow where they're the happiest. During that 2-mile dog mush, each person has a chance to actually drive their own dog sled, which is a pretty neat thing about our tour. Each person just isn't going along for the ride, they actually get the experience of stepping up on the runners and getting the same feeling that their guide is having driving the dog sled. And during that 2-mile mush, we'll be stopping, and it's a good opportunity for the people to step off the dog sled and take some pictures and enjoy the sights and sounds up here on the glacier. It's a pretty spectacular place. And it's a really nice one-on-one experience, I think, for the people. I think they really walk away with a good grasp of what dog mushing really is and how much fun it is and how much fun the dogs really do have doing it.
All these dogs on the ice field and everything is fantastic. Fantastic day. It meet and exceeded my expectations.
Unbelievable scenery. You can't beat it.
It's the first time, and it was really great.
He's a good driver, good musher.
Getting married on a glacier is a very wild and wonderful way to celebrate that special day. Coastal will transport the wedding party up to the perfect spot to tie the knot, Alaska style.
We're heading up to the glacier for our wedding today. It looks absolutely gorgeous. We'll do the best we can. I think we can find a little spot up there and just make it pretty special. One of my favorite little spots. It's the secret. Don't tell the boss.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, I've done 13 or so weddings. Each wedding is a special event. Each day is a special day, but each time you go to the glacier, it's a once-off. It's always special, and it's always different.
Marriage is not just a ceremony, but a lifelong commitment to each other, built on respect and high resolve, and with a genuine desire to build a marriage that should become stronger through the years. All right, I'd like you to pass me the flowers.
Congratulations. Well, we wanted it someplace unique, and at first we thought beaches and other areas, but we decided that, we were coming on an Alaskan cruise, and we thought nothing better than to get married on top of a glacier. So how unique is that?
Recreational charters are always varied, but you can count on Coastal to respond to the most challenging request.
Sometimes you get something that's just out there.
Gentlemen, we are on the Mendenhall Glacier. Let's roll.
We took these 3 guys up to the glacier with a ball, a bat, a sled, crutches, and they hit that ball into one of the crevasses to be crushed, destroying the curse that kept the Chicago Cubs from winning the World Series.
Okay, here we go. Goodbye, baseball.
Yeah!
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Now there you go!
Along with our popular glacier tours and wedding trips, we count on serving a variety of industrial clients year-round.
One of our operations on our industrial site are sling loads at the Greens Creek mine.
AEL&P and Coastal Helicopters work together to keep their electricity coming into town, and we also work with the FAA and AT&T, keeping the phone lines going and our airways safe.
We enjoy providing a service to our community and to other people that come through. And as the tourism that has evolved, it's just enjoyable to see people coming back from the ice field. But you can just see the light in their eyes and how they just didn't realize that what a glacier is and what it's like. It's a whole different world when you land on it. I know I still am awed to a certain extent by it. It's just a fantastic place, and of course all of Alaska is the same way.
try to sing along, you find that your mouth won't work. It's in between my arms, is where you seem to disappear. Not a sign to me off, but the message is succinct and clear. I'm not saying you wouldn't cry. I'm just saying you wouldn't mind. I couldn't mind. You flew away too far to see the pain you left behind. I should have known it all along. What you only was now. Between my arms is where you seem to disappear. It's not a sign to me more. Message is succinct and clear. And I'm not saying you wouldn't cry. I'm just saying you wouldn't mind. I'm not saying you wouldn't cry. I'm just saying you wouldn't mind.
He came into Alaska from the western USA, found himself in Skaguay one cold December day. A deck of cards in his hand, gambling was his game. Gambling made him famous, Soapy Smith was his name. He walked into an old saloon in the northern part of town. He said he had a speech to make, and the people gathered round. He climbed upon an old soapbox and loudly made it known. He's gonna run the town and call it all his own. Soapy Smith was his name, and gambling was his game. He had a dream of riches, big and bold. Soapy had a plan, this worthless gambling man. He's gonna have the Klondike and his gold. Well, I recall a miner, John Stewart was his name, with a fortune from the Klondike into Skaguay came. He took an invitation from Soapy Smith's saloon, went down to do some gambling at Soapy's private room. He woke up in the morning, just past the break of dawn. He searched to find his fortune, but all his gold was gone. He joined the vigilantes on the other side of town to put an end to Soapy and drive the bastard down. Soapy Smith was his name, and gambling was his game. He had a dream of riches, big and bold. Soapy had a plan, this worthless gambling man. He's gonna have the Klondike and its gold. Well, that night there was a meeting. Frank Reed was standing guard. Soapy came to see him and play his high card. He wondered how he'd come back, alive or dead. He knew they were awaiting to fill him full of lead. There echoed through the darkness, 2 shots rang out as one, and the townfolk came a-running to find both men were down. Soapy died a gambler, Frank Reed a hero brave, side by side in Skaguay, in a narrow grave. Soapy Smith was his name. His dream to run Alaska now is gone. A rifle in his hand, he made his final stand.
Hey.